For the first time since 1983, an American wins the Boston Marathon, but this year the race was not about winners or losers. It was about 36,000 people displaying why Boston is indeed strong. Ebru's Schmoyer joins us live now from Boston with more on the race in New England's big day a year after a tragedy. Kyle.
Logan, what a great Patriots Day, a Marathon Monday here in the city of Boston. You know, this 118th version of the Boston Marathon, truly historic, the second largest pool of runners ever, the largest crowds to ever take it in. And for the first time in 31 years, an American man wins the elite male division. That 38-year-old man is from San Diego, California. He actually turns 39 next month. A lot of people didn't think that he was going to make much of impact here at this Boston Marathon, but he did. He was here last year during the bombings. He did not participate then, and right after those bombings, he said he decided he was going to run this year and that he was going to win it for Boston. Well, he came in with a time of 2 hours, 37 seconds, and when he crossed that finish line, he looked up at the sky, he kissed the ground 3 times, bowed to the crowd, because he says it is that crowd along the 26.2 miles of the marathon route that kept him going and pushed him to go faster and ultimately win the elite male position there on the marathon today. And I can tell you, it's that crowd that a lot of people are talking about today. A lot of the runners saying, simply put, this was the best marathon ever. 36,000 participants weave their way through the greater Boston suburbs, and 26.2 miles later end up in Beantown itself at the iconic finish line on Boylston Street.
It was my first Boston, and I mean, coming back here and running it this year, you know, was especially important to me, being a New England girl. I mean, the crowd out there, it's just infectious. You get this energy, and I mean, it really kept me going, the momentum, the drive.
It's expected more than 1 million spectators line the marathon route, the highest number ever. Many of them waiting for loved ones to complete the course.
Fantastic. My heart is just pounding out of my chest. We were here last year with our children. We were fortunate, of course, but we have to come back. This is the town. This is the place. It just embraced us as family, and we feel absolutely wonderful here.
I think it's amazing. The whole town, everyone just joining in and supporting the athletes. It's great.
Security also at an all-time high on the ground and by air. All eyes trained on this massive crowd. Still, the good times roll.
It's amazing. It's amazing. A year ago, we were in the office when the bombs went off, and it was devastating. It's nice. All these people are out here, and their smiles on their face, and the sun's out, and it's just great.
For the marathoners who never got to finish last year, and those who just had to be part of this once again, it's an emotional experience they'll never forget.
Nothing compares to this. New York City is probably closest, but this definitely had more meaning this year, and again, I'm just glad to be a part of it, and it's an amazing experience that everyone should try to achieve once in their lifetime.
Of course, many minds and hearts on last year's tragedy during today's race. A moment of silence before the runners took off this morning, and then once again, precisely at 2:49 p.m., at the finish line. You know, that finish line's been getting a lot of talk in the recent weeks. Just last week, Vice President Joe Biden, in town for the 1-year anniversary exactly of the bombing, said we, Americans, own that finish line. Well, I think we can see from today, Bostonians, along with their fellow Americans and neighbors from around the world, well, they took back that finish line, and we indeed own it again. Logan?
And Kyle, we own it again in part because of Boston's finest. There was a big turnout of police there. Tell us what the security measures were like and whether they were indeed very visible throughout the race and the course of the race.
Absolutely, that show of force very visible around the city and all along the 26.2-mile marathon route. You know, that security included 3,500 police officers, some of them dressed as civilians, just kind of intermingling with the crowd. In addition to that, 800 National Guard. Add to that 4 police helicopters and a National Guard Black Hawk helicopter patrolling the skies, trying to keep an eye all along this route, especially here in Boston and along the finish line. As we saw, people could not bring bags, very large objects into the finish line area without them being checked first. And of course, bomb-sniffing dogs were along the route just in case. But you know, that show of force, quite a deterrent. No incidents reported today. A truly successful 118th running of the Boston Marathon. Logan?
Good news indeed. Kyle Schmoyer reporting live tonight from Boston. Thanks so much for that report.